guys, it's me Jishan and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be showing guys how you can set up your own command handler, an event handler, and a function handler for your Discord bot in v13. So in the previous video I showed you guys how you can set up your server, invite your bot, and get it online. So as you can see, we have our private test server here. I have my bot here. It's currently offline. So what we're going to do actually now is, since we're going to be implementing slash commands which are new to Discord JS v13, we actually have to re-invite the bot and give it application commands permissions, which we did not give it earlier. So what I'm going to do right now is kick the bot. So to do that, right click, kick, and then click on kick. And then as you can see, the bot has left the server. So now what we're going to do is go back to Discord developer portal and give it the permission and then re-invite it. So now we are here at the Discord developer portal. Once again, this link will be in the description below. So I'm going to go to my application, Jishan's test bot, and then go to Ep.2, and then go to URL generator, and then I'm going to click on bot, as same as last time, but this time also click on application commands so we can use slash commands in our bot. And then I'm going to give it administrative permission so to make this entire process easier, but you can give whatever specific permission that you want your bot to have. So once you've done that, click on copy and then paste that into a new tab. And once you select the server, so I'm going to be choosing test server, and then click on authorize. And with that being done, your bot should be re-added to the server. So let's check. And as you can see, the welcome Jishan's test bot. So the bot has been re-added. So now let's go back to Visual Studio Code and see how we can get started. So here we are in Visual Studio Code, and this is where we left off from last time. We have our index.js full file, and we have our source code folder. So what we're actually going to do is now create a new setup. So what we're going to do is, if you have not moved your index.js file into your source code folder, make sure to do that. Having that source code folder selected, click on create a new folder, and then let's type commands. So it's going to be our commands folder, and then inside our commands folder we're going to have subfolders. So we're going to have like an information folder, a moderation folder. So this is basically when you have different commands for your bot. Suppose you have a kick command, like a ban command, that's going to go inside your moderations folder. The reason why we're doing this is when we're looping through our folder, it's going to be much easier to create a nested for loop and easily loop through it. So now let's click on create folder, and then we're going to type moderation, and then let's create another folder inside commands, and then we're going to give it information. Okay, and now that we have our subfolders created, what we're going to do is create a new file inside this information folder. We're going to call it ping.js. It's going to be a very basic command that we have actually created in the past before and in the v12 series. So now that we've created our commands folder, what we're going to do is exit out of that, and then what we're going to do is go back to the source code folder and click on create a new folder, and then we're going to call it functions. Inside our functions folder is going to be our functions handler, which we'll work with later. And then now what we're going to go is go back to our source code folder and then click on create new folder and events. So we're going to create our events folder. And now that we have our three main folders created, each for the commands, events, and functions. So now we have a commands handler, events handler, and our functions handler. Now that we have that, let's get started. So in our events folder, what you're going to do is create a ready event. So we're going to call it ready.js, similar to what we did in the v12 series. So what we're going to do is create a new folder inside our events file, and we're going to call it interactions.create.js. So interaction create.js. So this is camel casing, as you may have noticed, where the first part of the word is lowercase and the second part is capitalized. And now that we've created that, we're going to go to our functions folder, create a new file, and then now we're going to do in our functions folder is going to be handle events.js. And then what we're also going to do is handle commands.js. So now that we've created our core files, what we're going to do is go to our index.js file, and we're going to get rid of this ready event. So let's get rid of this ready event. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to pass in fs. Ideally, fs should be installed on your machine, and if it's not, you can easily install it by just typing the simple command in the terminal, which I'll show you in just a moment. So this will require fs in all of our files. Fs basically allows us to search for files in our computer. So if you don't have fs installed, or for whatever reason, you can easily install it by typing npm ifs. That will install fs. And then now that we have fs successfully installed, what we're going to do is create a new collection. So we're going to type client dot commands is equal to new collection. Okay, and then we also have to pass in collections over here. Make sure you have passed in collection. And now that we have done that, what we want to do is get started with the main part of the index.js file. So we're going to type now const functions fs.readerSync, and then we're going to type the source code. So we're going to the location for the files. So let's open up a string dot slash backward slash the functions filter, and we want to filter, make sure it starts with the .js. So filter file is equal to file dot ends with .js. Cool. And we're going to actually copy this 2 times. Okay, and then we're going to rename this. So one for the functions, one for our event files, and then one for commands files. So command folders. Okay, and similarly edit the source locations for each of them. src functions. Over here we're going to type just simply commands because that's it. And then over here we're going to type events. And we actually don't need the filter for this one because we're just going through the commands folder. And then over here in our async function, what we're going to do is loop through all the files. So we're going to type for file of functions require functions. Oh, I believe this should be a backtick over here. And there we go. And functions slash $, open this up, file, and then client. Okay, and then we're going to do client dot handle events event files, and then also their location, so src slash events. And then we're going to do another one for handle commands, so client dot handle commands, and that's going to be command folders, and the location of the folders, it's going to be src. It's going to be the location of the command, so src slash commands. And there we go. That should be enough for our index.js file. So now let's go on to our ready.js file. So actually what we're going to do for the ready.js file is we're going to actually be utilizing the discord.js guide, and this link will be in the description below for the discord.js guide, so you can easily click on it, and then we're going to be referencing that a lot throughout this video, so make sure you have that handy. So here we are at the discord.js guide for v13, and I'm underneath the event handling section since we're creating a ready.js file in our event handler. So what I'm going to do is copy this piece of code over here, and I'm going to paste this into my Visual Studio Code under my ready.js file. So here I'm back at Visual Studio Code. Here's my ready.js file, and let me paste it there. I'm going to make this an async function just in case I might need to use the asynchronous function later on. So now let's save the code to file, save all. And now that we have a ready.js file created, let's go on to our functions handler. We're going to go to handle events first. Okay, so what I'd like to do is require fs in all my files that I created, just because in case if you get any error like fs.readerSync is not defined, I have fs in every file. You may not need this, but it's like a good habit. There's no harm in doing it. So const fs equal to require fs. Okay, and let's copy this onto all our files as a matter of fact, and even to this one at the top, const fs. Okay, now let's go back to our handle events.js. So here we are at the handle events.js file in our functions handler. So what we're going to type here is modular.exports, and then we're going to do client, pass in client, and then open this up with an arrow function. I'm going to do client.handleEvents is equal to async event files dot path. And then I'm going to go toward the discord.js guide, and I'm going to paste some code here. So here I'm at the discord.js guide, and what we want is all of this. Since we are already dealt with the filter.js or the filtering with the files with that index.js, we can ignore that. We just want this part of the for loop. Copy that. I'm going to paste that into our handle index.js file. So here we're back at Visual Studio Code, and what I'm going to do now is paste that code that we copied from Discord.js guide and paste it right in here. And I'm going to add braces here. And we're going to actually change up some stuff here. What I want to do is pass in client over here, lowercase. And then I also want to pass in client over here. Okay, so we won't need the const file path since we already dealt with that. And then the const event, it's going to be equal to our actual file path. So it's going to be the location of where our code is saved. So we're going to do backtick, double dots, and then events, and then $sign file. And with that being done, we should be good to go for this handle events.js file. So let's once again file, save all. Now I'm going to get a little bit complicated, but I'm going to explain it thoroughly, so it should be fine. So we're going to now do the main part of the functions handler. It's going to be your handle commands.js. So in our handle commands.js file, we're going to be basically constructing our slash commands and allowing them to be configured. So before we do that, what I want to do is install the packages that are necessary to utilize to construct and configure the slash commands. So in your terminal, download and install these packages by typing what's given in the description below. So type npm install discord.js, rest, discord API, and the discord.js builders packages. Okay, so now that that has been done, what we're going to do is go over here and then type module.exports, and then open that up, and then what we're going to do is client.handle command is equal to our async, then pass in command folders, and then pass in the path. Open that up. Okay, and then what we're going to do is put a semicolon over here, and then we're going to copy some code from the Discord.js guide in a bit. But what I want to do now is go over the command, go to the commands folder, and under information, what we're going to do is go to the ping.js file. We're going to copy some code for the ping command in the Discord.js guide. So here we are at the Discord.js guide again. What I'm going to do is copy this, and we're going to paste that into our ping.js file in our Visual Studio Code. Okay, and basically what this will allow us to do is it will allow us to set the name of the command, and this description will be the one that will be shown in on Discord. So you can change this to your liking, so I'll just do that so I can show you later on. I'm just going to name the description as this is a description of the ping command. And you can change the rest to your liking if you wish. So I'm going to go back to file and save all. Okay, so before we paste the code from the Discord.js guide, what we're going to do is actually create a for loop. So what we're going to do is type for const file of command files, and then open up the for loop. And then do know that upon second look, I realized that you have to put a semicolon here as well, so make sure you do that as well. Okay, so now we're going to go to Discord.js guide and paste the code for the handle commands.js file over here. So let's do that right now. So here we are at Discord.js guide, and we're going to copy this part of the for loop, and we're going to paste that into Visual Studio Code. So here we're back in Visual Studio Code, we're going to paste that in. Now we're going to change up some stuff here. The first thing we're going to change up is the require. In the file path, we're going to actually put the location of our file, so that's going to be, so I'm going to first open that up with the backtick. It's going to be dot and then slash, and then we're going to type commands, and then we're going to type slash $sign folder slash $sign file. Okay guys, we need to copy one more line of code into our for loop, and we're going to find that in the Discord.js guide. So here we are back at the Discord.js guide. We're going to go back to where we were, and we're going to copy this line over here. Okay, and we're going to paste that into Visual Studio Code. And now that we've pasted that, we're going to change again the command path. So we're going to do const command file is equal to fs dot reader sync, and then instead of commands path, we're going to change that to backtick $, path, and then slash $, slash folder, and then we're going to change that, and then the rest should be good. Okay, so one more thing that we need to add is client.command array. So we're going to go over here to the very top, and then right underneath client.handle commands is equal to async, we're going to type client.command array is equal to blank array. Okay, and then over here we're going to type client.command array.push, and then command.data to Jishan. Alright, now that is good. Now we're going to go over to registering slash commands on the Discord.js guide and basically copy whatever is there and paste that in, and then do some slide edits. Alright guys, so we're here at the Discord.js guide once again, and we're going to be copying the information underneath slash commands. So in this video or this series, we're going to be utilizing guild commands instead of global commands, because guild commands are specific to your server and they do not have lag. So global commands can be used anywhere, however they have a lag of 1 hour if they're updated. So like suppose if you update your command locally, it will take 1 hour for that update to take place, whereas on the other side, guild commands take effect, or the update takes effect immediately. That's why I prefer using guild commands. So what we're going to do is copy all of this, and we've already installed the necessary package, so we don't need to worry about this part. We're going to copy all of this and perform the necessary edit inside our Visual Studio Code. So let's copy this and paste this into our Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to paste this inside the second for loop over here. And then what I'm going to actually do first of all is Control or Command All, and then right click, format document. This will format the document. And now we're going to get rid of stuff that we don't need and edit stuff that needs to be changed. So first of all, we can get rid of this stuff, since we've already taken care of that earlier. And we've also taken care of the push part, so we can get rid of that. And then these constants over here, they're important. We also have fs over here, so we can get rid of fs. And then over here we're going to just copy all of this, Control X, and then put that at the very top, so like over here. And then actually I'm going to take this part and put this after my there. And then the client ID and the guild ID is basically, the client ID is the ID of your bot, and the guild ID is like the ID of your server. So I'm going to show you guys in just a moment how you can get that. So these are just sample IDs, so let's get rid of those. Okay, and what we want to do over here is where it says set token, we actually want to change that to utilize our environment variable, so .env, so process.env.token. And over here where it also says commands, we're going to change that to client.command array, lowercase c. Okay, and the rest should be good to go. Okay, and let's just update the client ID and the guild ID. So the way we're going to do that is going to, and then over here we're going to right click and then copy the ID. This is going to be ID of the server. If you don't see the option to copy ID, what you need to do is turn on developer mode. So to do that, go to your user settings. So go to user settings, advanced, and then turn on developer mode over here. Once you've done that, you should be able to copy ID. So we're going to copy the ID of our server, and then paste that into Visual Studio Code. That's going to go, this server ID is going to go under guild ID, and I'm going to copy the ID of our bot. So the bot's over here, so right click, copy ID, and then paste that in. And make sure you don't interchange these or mix these up, otherwise it will not work. My IDs look very similar, however, just make sure to not mix them up. Now that we have finished that thing, we should be good to go with the handle commands.js, so let's just save that. And we only have one more file to finish, I believe, and that's going to be interactioncreate.js. So the way that we're going to actually start this file is very similar to how we started the other files. So we're going to type module.exports and then equal to the name, and the name's going to be interaction create.js. So interaction create.js, comma, and then we're going to create an async for my method. So async execute, and we're going to pass in interaction and client. And now we're going to go to our Discord.js guide and copy one last snippet of code. Okay, so we're going to use the code underneath dynamically executing commands. We can dynamically execute a command. So additionally, all the different parts of the page in the Discord.js guide will be linked, so it's much easier for you to click on and follow along. So we're going to copy this part of the code and paste that into our Visual Studio Code. Alright, now this is done, we're going to clear up some of the syntax. So we're going to type a semicolon here and put a comma here. I believe that should be good to go. Let me just Control format document. Okay, that looks clean. Sounds good. File, save all, and then now we should be able to run the bot. Okay, const fs replace is not defined. So let's go over here, index.js. Okay, so replace not, okay, it's supposed to be require, not replace. Okay, save all, save it, npm run test. Okay, module not found. Alright guys, so I went back through the entire code. So I realized when we were actually editing the handle commands.js file, we forgot to remove this line of code, and hence I was creating an error. And additionally over here you should want to make sure it says for folder of command folders. I believe that it was something else before. And with that being said, we should be able to type npm run test. Oh yeah, make sure to also save the code. So file, save, I already saved it. Let's Control S, and it says started refreshing the application commands, successfully reloaded the application commands, and logged in as the bot name. So let's go to our Discord app and let's see if the bot is truly online and if the slash commands work. So here we are at our Discord server. So let's type our slash command ping. So you can see we have changed the description of the ping command, and now it says this is a description of the ping command. So let's go here, and it replies with palm, and we can do this one more time, ping, just to show you guys that the ping command will not work with the prefix, like the regular prefix. Instead we're going to be using slash commands. So there you guys have it. This proves that our command handler and functions handlers are working, and our event handler is working because we can see that the bot is online, and it says logged in as Jishan's test bot. So that proves that our event handler is working as well. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, share this video with friends and family. And I know that this video was a bit long and a bit complex, so kudos to you if you stuck around and now you're able to get your bot online. And in the case that you are not able to get your bot online and you're coming across some errors, you can leave those errors in the comments below and I will gladly take a look at them. However, worst to worst case, if even after I helped you, you're not able to understand your error, I will be providing a link to the source code for this video. Anyways, hopefully you like this video, and we'll be using this command and event handler for the rest of the series. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.